stories you are about to see are real. The rewards up to $5 million are real. This is Crime Reports and Rewards with Griff Griffin and Dave Michaels, where you stay anonymous, the criminals don't.
Chairman of the Board of Augusta Crime Stoppers, Douglas M. Day, EARIA, is helping area law enforcement find and question the person of interest in this photograph. They were taken at the scene of about $100,000 in damages to a house that was torn apart on the inside, every door kicked in, and a forest fire set ablaze around the house, destroying several valuable trees. They appear to be a white male who is driving a 2001 Pontiac Aztek van, which was yellow in color with black or brown factored rims that are badly painted. The picture was taken on Rollins Road. The white male you see is likely the driver of the 2001 yellow Aztek. The tag looks like the last four digits could be 3552, or it's almost like BCA or 3CA2552 or 3552. If you think you know who or where this subject may be, please call Crime Stoppers at 800-222-TIPS or email your tips to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, where you can remain anonymous and get paid. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office is currently looking for the vehicle you see on your screen being driven by a black male driver. To recap, an unknown black male entered the Southern Bank located at 2455 Highway 88 and grabbed an undisclosed amount of cash. The suspect then fled the scene, and while running, a red dye pack exploded, causing red dye to splatter on the black male suspect. Someone wrote on Facebook that they should use C4 and eliminate a trial. Go to our Facebook page by searching for Augusta Crime Stoppers and tell us what you think. The suspect was last traveling in this vehicle, which seems to be a darker over lighter two-tone paint job, possibly a gray over silver or a darker color over gold 2000 Honda Accord sedan. Anyone with information leading to the whereabouts of the listed vehicle and suspect are asked to please notify Richmond County Sheriff's Office investigator Blaze Dresser at 706-821-1080. Crime Stoppers at 800-222-TIPS or email your tips to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, where you remain anonymous and get paid.
And now, this Crime Reports and Rewards special report.
Last week on Crime Reports and Rewards, we brought you video of Augusta firefighters battling a blaze from a building fire on Broad. That fire has not been determined to be arson. The building amazingly even had already caught fire not long after it was built about 100 years ago. There has been no determination of arson by anyone at this time regarding the Broad Street fire. The county has given the owner permission to razz the structure, but is asking for thousands of dollars for warning signs the county put there. If you have a tip on any of the other unsolved arson cases that go all the way back to the Whistle Stop firebombing across from the Marble Palace, then please call Crime Stoppers at 800-222-TIPS or email your tips to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, where you remain anonymous and get paid. The Columbia County Sheriff's Office reports a Columbia County firefighter's home was burglarized while he was working a 24-hour shift during the ice storm. Firefighter Jeff Prouty's family says the burglars took off with expensive electronics and priceless family heirlooms. Crime Stoppers want you to know that burglars and thieves are sometimes looked on and protected by entire communities as Robin Hoods who rob from the rich and give to the poor. Only we never see them giving to the poor unless it's a poor crack dealer. There is a certain attitude that if you're not standing guard over your stuff 24/7, that you have too much stuff and you don't need that much stuff anyway. But the facts are that most jobs lost now are the result of thieves and robbers wiping out entire companies when they steal the things that company needs to do their jobs. If a truck is loaded with all kinds of tools that an entire crew of workers needs to do their work with is stolen, as several have been lately, every worker loses their job until that truck and tools are replaced. Sadly, most of the time nowadays that never happens, and everyone just loses their job. The good news is these thieves gather in locations all over the CSRA to swap their stolen items for drugs and guns. And when they have these swap meets, they sometimes gather in large crowds. Keep your eyes open for sudden gatherings of people pulling things out of their trunks to sell and flash mobs of customers gathering to buy. This is when you can call the cops and have them ask for ID and inquire about where all this stuff came from. Most of the time, the thieves and burglars are driving on a suspended license, have outstanding warrants, or are fleeing from crimes they just committed and are at the swap meet to buy guns and other items they intend to use to keep on robbing and thieving. So even though the cops may not be able to bust them for all the stolen stuff they're selling, at least they get slowed down a little with court appearances and sometimes even jail. Anytime you see a large group of suspicious individuals gather very quickly and start pulling things out of their trunk and offering them for sale, typically for next to nothing, or if someone is offering you something that they have no reason to have, then you are probably looking into the eyes of a burglar who may take a liking to your stuff too. If you know where any one of these people selling stolen items are, or know how police may find any of their thousands of burglars who are wiping out all the jobs in the area, please call Crime Stoppers at 800-222-TIPS or email your tips to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, where you can remain anonymous and keep your stuff. Richmond County Sheriff's Office reports 8 vacant townhomes were broken into recently. The report says a suspect broke into the back, either busting the glass or removing doorknobs, and left the door wide open. A witness says about 3 or 4 nights ago, around the time this happened, 2 guys were walking from there late at night with duffel bags. Well, why didn't you call the cops? Duh! The police report says they stole an air conditioning unit, 2 refrigerators, and a stove. Those are some duffel bags. The dollar amount of what was stolen was around $1,200, but the thieves will likely only get a couple $100 or less for risking jail. This isn't the only theft this week. Another rental property says copper was stolen from them too. The landlord of that property says damage from those thefts totaled more than $7,000. This is why Augusta Crime Stoppers and Crime Reports and Rewards is working day and night to get the message out that no matter how much we spend and raise taxes, it won't do any good, because many of the things we invest in for future are getting stolen before anyone has a chance to get a return on them. This is causing money to go to other things instead of creating jobs that create the tax base all government employees live off of. If you know who or where the suspects that burglarized these homes may be, please call Crime Stoppers at 800-222-TIPS or email your tips to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, where you remain anonymous and keep your medals. Now for a special report on a Democratic gun grabber who got busted smuggling guns from Muslim terrorists into the U.S. You always heard Democratic gun grabbers want your pea shooter in their arsenals too. Now here's proof.
Campaign runner by day, gun runner by night. The story of Leland Yee. California State Senator Leland Yee, a staunch advocate of gun control, was recently busted by the FBI for illegally trafficking firearms and multiple counts of public corruption. All the time while Yi was speaking out against guns and introducing gun control bills, he and campaign manager Keith Jackson were secretly meeting with undercover agents on a multi-million-dollar arms sale. Yi asked for political donations in exchange for introducing an undercover FBI agent to an arms trafficker and took him through the entire process of how to smuggle arms from the Philippines to the U.S. Cleveland was also kind enough to accept cash from another undercover agent to set up a meeting, while in another instance, he took cash from the feds in exchange for a Senate proclamation. Senator Yi was arrested on Wednesday with 25 other people, including Raymond Shrimp Boy Chow. Looks like it's gonna be Chinese on the prison menu.
Who is it?
Somebody picked the wrong girl.
I'm Dave Michaels with this week's edition of Spot Crime, where we highlight crimes reported in the CSRA. We've had 53 assaults around the CSRA. They took place on the 1700 block of Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, the 1300 block of Cherry Avenue, the 2300 block of DeVry Street, the 1800 block of Cooney Circle, the 3900 block of Deborah Street, Old Waynesboro Road, Pleasant Home Road at Treburton Trail, 2400 block of Yates Drive, the 2400 block of Peach Orchard Road, the 2400 block of Jumper Drive, the 2600 block of Barclay Street, the 2400 block of Amsterdam Drive, the 700 block of Broad Street, the 2300 block of Heritage Court, Fox Trace Drive, the 2400 block of Southgate Drive, the 2700 block of Margaret Court, the 2100 block of Lumpkin Road, the 600 block of Bransford Road, the 2000 block of First Avenue, the 2100 block of Silverdale Road, Milledgeville Road, the 2300 block of Amsterdam Drive, the 3200 block of Wrightsboro Road, the 100 block of Skinner Road, the 1100 block of Azalea Drive, the 3100 block of River Oak Road, the 2700 block of Smith Drive, the 500 block of Broad Street, the 2100 block of Helpsome McBeam Road, the 400 block of East Boundary Street, the 600 block of Sea Isle Drive, the 3400 block of Wrightsboro Road, the 3100 block of Washington Road, the 2100 block of Bayville Road, the 3700 block of Barra Drive, the 1300 block of Beeman Street, the 3500 block of Camac Drive, the 200 block of East Telfair Street, the 1600 block of McCalkey Street, the 1600 block of the Gordon Highway, the 2500 block of Peach Orchard Road, the 3500 block of Windsor Springs Road, the 2800 block of Deansbridge Road, the 900 block of Molly Pond Road, Bath Peterson Road, the 2900 block of Wellington Street, the 1600 block of McCalkey Street, the 2100 block of 2nd Avenue, the 500 block of Logan's Way, the 3100 block of Peach Orchard Road, the 1500 block of Wooten Road, and the 3500 block of Windsor Springs Road. 30 burglaries around the CSRA. They took place on the 1500 block of McCalkey Street, the 3700 block of Beacon Hill Drive, the 2300 block of Tobacco Road, the 4200 block of James Street, the 2300 block of Allen Avenue, the 2200 block of Rozier Road, the 3500 block of Edgeworth Drive, the 100 block of Milledgeville Road, the 1100 block of Huntington Drive, the 1700 block of Hicks Street, the 1500 block of Bertrand Court, the 2800 block of Ingleside Drive, the 2500 block of Redoubt Circle, the 2900 block of Glen Hills Drive, the 5000 block of Old Waynesboro Road, the 2400 block of Windsor Springs Road, the 2700 block of Ingleside Drive, the 2100 block of Helpsum McBeam Road, the 400 block of Sandbar Ferry Road, the 3900 block of Deborah Street, the 2000 block of Nanmart Court, the 100 block of Watkins Street, the 2500 block of Hanover Street, the 2800 block of Beacon Drive, the 1900 block of Powell Road, the 2900 block of Willis Foreman Road, the 3100 block of Melba Drive, the 1700 block of Rush Drive, the 2900 block of DeHalla Drive, and the 3500 block of Windsor Springs Road. 7 robberies around the CSRA. They took place on the 1200 block of Ellis Street, the 100 block of 4th Street, the 1800 block of Watkins Street, the 3300 block of Wrightsboro Road, the 1700 block of Starnes Street, the 2400 block of Dublin Drive, and Meadowbrook Drive. 2 charged of damage to property on the 2500 block of Cross Creek Road and the 2400 block of Amsterdam Drive. 2 charged of reckless conduct on the 2500 block of Andorra Drive and the 1700 block of Sibley Road. If you know anything about these crimes or any other crimes, call our toll-free tip line at 1-800-222-TIPS or email your tip to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, where you may remain anonymous and may get a cash reward.
Consider this an invitation to my gangster nation.
Recent shooting sign of growing gang violence in Richmond County, police tell the Augusta Chronicle's Bianca King. Authorities say they fear that the recent slaying of a teen points to growing gang violence in Augusta. Gang graffiti was spray painted at the intersection of Loftwood Drive and Brookshire Road. Investigators estimate that Richmond County has several gangs. Dijon Cortez Abbott, 17, was charged with murder, aggravated assault, and a weapons violation in a fatal shooting in July on East Kensington Drive. 19-year-old Marquez Eubanks died after being shot at that house party on East Kensington Drive on July 18th, and 2 others were wounded. The man police arrested in that homicide, Dijon Cortez Abbott, is a member of the South Augusta gang 23rd, which is warring with another gang called 600 or 600. Lieutenant Jason Vinson, who worked with the FBI's gang unit before coming to the Richmond County Sheriff's Office, said shootings related to gang activity have become more frequent and are escalating more quickly from physical fights to gunfire. Benson said he's seen gang members getting more brazen about their allegiance recently. Instead of hiding the gang colors, they're flaunting them and getting t-shirts and hats made to show that they are gang members. The number of gangs in Richmond County is not clear, investigator Ashley Fletcher told the Augusta Chronicle. Every little or big neighborhood seems to have one, she said. Most of the gangs are comprised primarily of teens, but some of the more established ones have older members who are related to the younger ones. Barton Village's OWTT, or the O-Dubs, have been around since the 1990s and is one of the largest. The parents of the grown people I was investigating would claim to be members, Benson said of the group, that is estimated to have more than 100 gangbangers. 2 of last year's homicides were determined to be the result of gang activity. Danielle Hicks and Tremaine Jones were both fatally shot at the River Glen apartments within a month of each other. Police said the second death was retaliation for the first. Some of the gangs are considered smaller chapters of larger national gangs such as the Bloods, Crips, and Folk Nation. Devon Harris, who meets and speaks with gang members across the Aiken and Augusta area, says sometimes the only thing standing in the way of someone leaving a gang is finding steady employment. But dealing drugs or stealing items to resell are sometimes easier for a recovering gang member than moving on. Up to 75% of crime in any city is gang-related, Harrison estimated. They have to survive. Richmond County Sheriff Roundtree said he's working to create a gang task force that can prevent criminal activity. One of my main goals is to prevent young men from entering into crime or winding up in prison or dying in the streets, Roundtree said in an email. We understand that youth violence is a major problem in our area, and for years we have seen a steady increase in gang-related incidents. Our goal is not just to stop the cycle, but to break it. If you know of a gang crime, please call 1-800-222-TIPS or email your tip to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org or text your tip to 803-441-UP-HIGH, where you can always remain anonymous. The rewards are up high, and you tell Crime Stoppers how you want to be paid. Now for a Crime Stoppers International special report. Reports are pouring in from all over the U.S. that thugs are sucker punching people for the fun of it. So far, all of the attackers have been black males or a black male walking behind a group, which so far have been all black males. The game they're playing is a game they call the knockout game. Black males are targeting other races that they hate or just perfect strangers that they see an opportunity to knock out, then sometimes rob. Now, groups of typically young black males get close enough, they try to knock out anyone they can with a sucker punch that no one would ever expect. So far, several victims of this hate crime have come forth, and surveillance video is all over YouTube under the title, The Knockout Game.
But the question of race, I mean, frankly, so far it's been African Americans, as far as I can see, on whites. I don't know if it's completely that way, but that's what we've seen.
Well, that is true. That is exactly what you're saying. And this talks to the state of depravity that is in the black community right now. And again, where are these black leaders that should be talking about this breakdown? Where are the parents? Where are the guardians of the black community to say, this is unacceptable behavior? Now, this is what's going to end up happening. At some point in time, one of the people that's going to be attacked is going to have a concealed weapons license. And they're going to draw down, and unfortunately, someone's going to get shot. Then what is going to happen? You're going to hear all of the rhetoric coming out from the Al Sharptons, the Jesse Jacksons, that this unarmed black teenager was shot and killed and assaulted, when right now they should be out there stopping this so we don't get to this point.
Because the knockout game is spreading everywhere, don't let thugs get close enough to sucker punch you. If a group that looks like they're up to no good approaches you on a street, get to the other side or duck into a storefront and get ready to defend yourself. If they get close enough to sucker punch you, they may and are on video doing just that. They think it's funny. No one is laughing. Share this with everyone you can before they knock you out, and you can't. If you suspect a group or individual is planning on running around sucker punching people, please call your local law enforcement or call Crime Stoppers at 800-222-TIPS or text your tip to 803-441-8744 or email your tips to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, where you can remain anonymous, but the criminals don't. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office is looking for this black male who on March 3rd shoplifted a Troy-built push mower in the box and a Haier brand microwave, then left with them without rendering proper payment. The subject is a chunky 20-ish black male driving a dark SUV with a paper license tag. If you know who or where he is, please call Richmond County Sheriff's Office Deputy Angela Gates at 706-821-1088. Crime Stoppers at 800-222-TIPS or email tips to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, where you remain anonymous and get paid. Columbia County Sheriff's Office is looking for the two black males you see on your screen. They walked into a Columbia County jewelry store and presented a counterfeit bank check for over $9,000, then walked out of the jewelry store with a very expensive diamond. They left the store driving in a dark in color Chrysler 300. While they were there, the jeweler called someone at the bank who said the cashier's check was good. But after they left, the jeweler was told by someone else at the bank that the cashier's check was counterfeit. So even though there was money in that account, the check was counterfeit, so the jeweler is out the $9,000 plus. If you know who or where these two suspects are, please call Investigator Van Vactor of the Columbia County Sheriff's Office at 706-541-2800. Crime Stoppers at 800-222-TIPS or email your tips to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, where you remain anonymous and can get paid enough to buy your own diamonds. The Richmond County Sheriff's Office has issued a Be on the Lookout or FOLO for the white male you see on your screen. On March 18th at approximately 1:30, the described suspect was seen entering an employee-only office area of the Chevron located at 1500 Gordon Highway. There was money sitting on the desk in the office, which was found to be missing from the office after the suspect left. Hey, let's leave a stack of cash on the desk with the door wide open. What could go wrong? The suspect is a white male, mid-40s, bald with dark goatee facial hair. He's about 5'7" in height, weighs about 170 pounds. He was last seen wearing a red shirt, dark jacket, blue athletic pants with a white stripe on the sides, and dark sneakers. The Sheriff's Office is asking for the public's assistance in identifying this suspect. If anyone has information regarding the incident or identification of the suspect, please contact Richmond County Sheriff's Office Deputy Angela Gates at 706-821-1088. Crime Stoppers at 800-222-TIPS or email your tips to tips@AugustaCrimeStoppers.org, where you remain anonymous and get paid. Please reference this case number to 14-056286.
You've been watching Crime Reports and Rewards with Griff Griffin and Dave Michaels, where you stay anonymous. The criminals don't. If you have any information on these or any other crimes, call our national tip line at 1-800-222-TIPS. Well, you'll stay anonymous and could get a cash reward. You can see this or any other episode of Crime Reports and Rewards on the web anytime at crimereportsandrewards.com. Crime Reports and Rewards is a production of Michaels Media.